In the headlines, Macban demands justice for killing of pastoralist in Nasarawa, kidnap of members in Anambra. Daily Trust annual dialogue holds in Abuja, agenda of leading candidates interrogated. House of Reps committee to meet with CBN Bank CEOs. And on the international scene, Mali court sentences man to death over UN peacekeeper deaths. Hello and welcome to News Update on Trust TV. I am Sagir Ibrahim. Hello and welcome once again. The Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association, Macban, has condemned the killing of some of its members in Nasarawa State. Over 30 pastoralists were killed under controversial circumstances on Saturday. Reacting in a statement on Wednesday, Macban President Baba Usman Ingilzarma said the attack was unwarranted. The association also raised alarm over the alleged kidnap of its members and loss of 15 cows in Orumba North local government area of Anambra State. The Southeast Zonal Chairman, Gidadu Sadiki, while briefing newsmen, said the incident occurred in the early hours of Monday. Gidadu, who also alleged that the herders had been constantly harassed by some indigents in the area in recent times, however, called on the state government and security operatives to intervene.
This is making 2 times that our people were attacked. There's sometimes around November and in Dukwenu, our people were attacked there. 2 of our leaders were killed and about 4 cows were killed. So this is the second time that it happens in Orumba North. They were attacked by some unknown people. Numbered about 50 persons come and equipped with sophisticated weapon, open fire on them. So our boys have escaped, but one of them was apprehended. So we don't know the extent of destruction now.
Now, the Minister of Defense, Major General Bashir Magashi, retired, has called for a new border security template to reduce cross-border crimes. The minister made the recommendation in a statement on Wednesday at a meeting with a delegation of experts of the United Nations Independent High-Level Panel on Security, Governance and Development in the Sahel. He appealed to the United Nations to support Nigeria with funds to enable it curb the insecurity confronting the nation. The minister noted that Nigeria is contributing more than other cooperating states in counterpart funding, deployment of manpower and provision of other logistics in the multinational joint task force. This is why he suggested that the United Nations step up the resources being injected by the United Nations into the promotion of global peace and regional economic prosperity. This, he believed, would reduce the high level of poverty at all levels. Also, border communities in Katsina State have acknowledged the efforts of the Nigerian Customs Service in curtailing insecurity in some parts of the state. Representatives of the Emir of Katsina and Daura stated this while speaking at a customs community forum held in Katsina. Abdullahi Yamadi completes the story.
Service was appreciated for securing the nation's land borders, especially at the heightened insecurity in Katsina State. This, the royal fathers say, has assisted significantly in reducing the menace of arms smuggling and other transborder crimes bedeviling residents of Katsina.
Nigerian Customs Service is one of the most misunderstood services of the nation, in the sense that they are observed principally as separators of smuggling. But separation of smuggling is only an ancillary duty in the customs, which is essentially revenue collection of the federal government of Nigeria.
The forum also commended the State Command of the Customs Service for ease of doing business, adding that it has facilitated the flourishing import and export of goods and services since the reopening of Jibia border. The special advisor to Governor Masari on security matters, Ibrahim Katsina, said the state government enjoyed working with all security agencies especially the customs service at the time of heightened insecurity.
The security agencies that are in Katsina are here to help us complement our efforts and stabilize the state. So I'm urging all the citizens of Katsina to cooperate with members of the security agencies, with our traditional institution, so that they can perform optimally and assist our state to excel.
The Customs Service, meanwhile, says its achievements were made possible with the support it enjoys from citizens of Katsina State.
I'm glad to inform you that since the reopening of the border, the command was able to generate a total sum of 935,306,275 naira 39 kobo only. Within the period under review, which is far more than 60,842,789 naira 87 kobo allocated as revenue target for the command in the year 2022.
The Katsina Area Command of the Nigeria Customs Service conducted the stakeholders around some seized and detained vehicles and general goods. This is part of the command's anti-smuggling activities from the third week of December 2022 to date.
The command was able to record 379 arrests. Out of the total number of 379 arrests, 258 were converted to seizures after thorough investigations, with a duty paid value of 144,758,341 naira, 0 kobo.
The outgoing state controller of the service, Talhawada Chedi, however, called for more support and synergy from all stakeholders to enable the command record more successes. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Also, the 20th Daily Trust Dialogue themed interrogating the 2023 presidential agenda held on Thursday, January 26th at the NAF Conference Center in Abuja. Speakers and panelists at the dialogue analyzed the campaign promises of the top presidential candidates for the 2023 election. Speaking at the occasion, the Group Chief Executive Officer, Media Trust Limited, Munir Gwarzo, said the aim of the dialogue is for experts to profile solutions, set agendas, air their views on the qualities of the next president of Nigeria, as well as what they will focus on in order to positively transform the country. The Archbishop Emeritus of the Catholic Church Abuja, John Cardinal Onaikan, chaired the occasion. The panelists include member of the board of the Center for Democracy and Development, Mr. Jibrin Ibrahim, former chairman of the board of directors, First Bank of Nigeria, Ibukun Awoshika, a human capacity development specialist, Eugene Enahuro, and Dr. Yetunde Anibaba, a lecturer at Lagos Business School. The event was organized by the Media Trust Limited, owners of Daily Trust and Trust Television, and moderated by Dr. Suleiman, the Deputy Editor-in-Chief and Chairman of the editorial board of the newspaper. Also, the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, has said fuel scarcity and the redesign of the Naira note will not dissuade his supporters from voting him in. He said there are deliberate attempts by some persons to sabotage his chances in the February 25th presidential poll. Speaking in Yoruba language, Tinubu said this on Wednesday during a rally at the MKO Abiola Stadium in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. He assured the people of the state that he will end fuel scarcity if elected, saying next month's presidential poll is a revolution. He urged the people of the state to get their permanent voter cards, saying he will take over government through PVCs. Still in politics, Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi has promised to secure Nigeria if elected in February's poll. Obi made the promise at the Pantami Stadium in Gombe on Wednesday at the Labour Party's rally in the state. He said security will be his priority in order to ensure that other sectors of the economy work for the good of all. Take a look.
Poverty all over the place. We in Labour Party, that year time was simple thing. A is to secure and unite Nigeria. We want a united Nigeria. We want to secure and unite Nigeria. We want to remove Nigeria from consumption to production. Because we want it to have job. We want it to have a job. We want the youth to have something they are doing. We can no longer stay in the country where our youth are not doing anything. We want our youth to do something. They will come to tell you to vote for them. I say we have no structure.
Also, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken in a tweet said his country supports Nigeria's democratic process and desire to uphold the rule of law. Blinken announced visa restrictions for those involved in undermining democracy in Nigeria. The U.S. Embassy and Consulate in Nigeria, in a statement shared on its website, said the visa restrictions are specific to certain individuals and are not directed at the Nigerian people or the government of Nigeria. Also, as the 2023 elections draws nearer, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in the state says more than 50% of permanent voter cards are yet to be collected. The head of voter education of the commission in the state, Egurube Otokpa, who disclosed this in Jos, said the development requires urgent attention to enable more people to participate in the elections. Ado Musa has more.
According to the INEC's head of voter education in Plateau State, Egurube Otokpa, hundreds of thousands of PVCs remain uncollected in the various offices of the commission across the state. Otokpa said all stakeholders, especially religious and political parties, must rise to the occasion and educate people on the need to collect their PVCs ahead of the exercise.
As at 15 January 2023, PVC collection rate is 45%, with thousands of PVC yet to be collected. This is a huge challenge requiring urgent attention. The Honorable Rector Agudu warned that if this trend continues and the lukewarm attitude is not checked, we may have a situation where a large percentage of people will not be participating in the elections.
While the Commission is lamenting the refusal of registered voters to collect their PVCs, some voters at the Jos North INEC office, however, faulted the collection process, saying it was very difficult to get the PVCs at the Commission's offices.
I lost my BVC card. Are you getting? Then I have been trying to get it. They said that my listener has been multiple registration, that I should register again so that they will capture my real data on my old PVC, which I did. You know, after doing it, coming now to collect, they say that it enters update instead of putting replacement on it. So that we should wait. Maybe they will print more.
It has been stressful because this is the fourth time of me coming here before I was able to get mine.
Recently, the Electoral Empire took the distribution of the PVCs to the ward levels for easy collection, but thousands of voters are yet to collect theirs. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Here's what's to come after the break. How unavailability of new Naira notes affect business operations in Kaduna. Do stay with us.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
The July 1966 counter-coup that toppled the first military government of General Agui Ironsi has one living witness, his ADC, Then Lieutenant Sani Bello was with him that fateful morning in Government House, Ibadan. For the first time, now Colonel Sani Bello, former military governor of Kano State and multi-millionaire businessman, speaks to Trust Television on how Ironsi and his host, Colonel Fajui, lost their lives and how he survived to tell the story.
As we were jumping to the Land Rover, we had a machine gun fire. Dada rushed back. What happened, Sabija? So he was trying to run away. And we shot him. Who was it? Fajui. They killed Fajui.
Catch up on this bit of living history on Trust Television on Saturday, 28th January between 8 and 9 p.m. and in Sunday Trust, 29th January.
TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
If you're just joining us, you're watching News Update on Trust TV. Now, a recap of our top stories. Earlier, we told you MACBAN demand justice for killing of pastoralist in Nasarawa, kidnap of members in Anambra. And Daily Trust annual dialogue holds in Abuja, agenda of leading candidates interrogated. To To more stories now, the House of Representatives ad hoc committee constituted during Tuesday's plenary by Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila on the need to review the 31st January 2023 deadline to phase out old currency has rescheduled its meeting with the Central Bank of Nigeria and commercial bank CEOs. The meeting was earlier scheduled for Wednesday. Announcing the postponement of the meeting to Thursday and Friday, the committee chairman Alhassan Ado Dogwa said the shift became imperative following the late receipt of the earlier invitation by the CBN. He said the ad hoc committee is to have separate meetings with both the CBN officials and the bank chiefs.
Based on the communication I just received from the central bank, is that our letter of invitation got to the bank very, very late yesterday. You can all agree with me that the resolution was taken at the end of our sitting yesterday, the 24th of January, 2023. And before we could finish necessary procedures, the letters were signed in to the central bank late. So the liaison officer of the bank spoke to us this evening that they were not able to really act on the letter to allow for their engagement today. And on this note, I would like to convey to members of the committee and of course to the members of the public and the press that are here with us that we have considered to allow the central bank officials to come up tomorrow by 1 p.m. tomorrow by 1 p.m. so that we will engage them, and immediately after our engagement with the officials of the central bank, we will engage the bank operators. This is the decision of the committee.
Also, business owners are shutting down their businesses due to fear of losing their monies after the January 31st deadline set by the CBN to end the use of the old 1,500 and 200 naira notes. Hawa Ibrahim, an operator of a small restaurant in Kaduna Metropolis, says they cannot buy foodstuffs as the traders at the market are no longer accepting the old notes. This, she said, has left her with no option than to shut down her business pending the availability of the redesigned note. Take a look.
This is Hawa Ibrahim's restaurant. On a regular day, it is usually filled with customers, but it is empty today as she cannot continue to collect the old Naira note for the fear of losing her money.
We have stopped accepting the affected note because if we go to the bank, there is a long queue for depositing the money. Besides, the redesigned Naira note are not even available at the bank.
She buys foodstuffs at the market, but according to her, the traders set Wednesday 25th January as deadline for accepting the affected Naira notes.
The traders at the market where we buy foodstuffs said, henceforth, they will stop accepting the old notes and we don't have the new Naira notes.
Hawa says she is shutting down her business pending the availability of the new Naira notes.
We are shutting down the business for 1 week or beyond, pending the availability of the redesigned notes.
The January 31st deadline to stop the use of old currency and the unavailability of the redesigned Naira note is creating panic in Kaduna as CBN maintains its stance of no going back on the deadline. Bella Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
And in Lagos, goods worth millions of naira were destroyed when fire gutted a 3-story building which contained clothes and shoes in the popular Balogun market on Broad Street on Lagos Island. It was gathered that the fire was put out at midnight on Thursday by emergency responders, but started again around 3 a.m. The Southwest coordinator of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, explained that the building housed warehouses and firefighters had difficulties gaining access to the building because of the iron bars. He, however, said the fire had been contained before it could spread to other buildings. In a separate statement, the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, said the cause of the fire could not be immediately ascertained, while no casualty was recorded in the incident. And to foreign news now, a court in Mali has sentenced a man to death over a 2019 attack that killed 3 United Nations peacekeepers. The trial centered on an attack on 5 peacekeepers traveling through the rural commune of Sibi in 2019. 3 peacekeepers from Guinea, which has one of the largest contingents in the mission, were killed in the attack. The peacekeeping mission, MINUSMA, announced that Bamako's criminal court convicted the man of acts of criminal association, murder, robbery, and illegal possession of firearms in connection with the attack. And with that, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Do well to follow us across all our media platforms. I'm Sagir Ibrahim. Thanks for watching.